Very good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. This is Pavel Penaz from SAP. My role at SAP is responsibility for SAP Business Technology Platform partner readiness. So day and night, I work towards making sure that our partners are equipped and enabled on the SAP Business Technology Platform. The topic of today is accelerate SAP Business Technology Platform adoption with new enablement and coaching services. For these enablement and coaching services, I will spend majority of time today on, right? But there is also something else we would like to start with today. I want to start with the why for SAP partners. So why SAP Business Technology Platform is super important to drive partner innovation and also to drive our partner relevance towards our end customers. Right? And from that perspective, I will start with a slide that most of you would have already been made familiar with. And it is this typical slide where you will see the end-to-end journey of an SAP customer with the end-to-end pillars that support the journey towards intelligent enterprise. Right? And obviously, from the perspective of my session today, I will primarily double down on the business technology platform line item there. So from one angle, this is the technology line item, right? And you will see it there. But I would like here to make the message come across sound and clear. The business technology platform is actually the business technology platform. The technology piece is obviously important, but actually the focus of the platform and the positioning of the platform also towards our customers is not just to provide a technology stack, but frankly to provide the business acceleration stack, the innovation stack to support the journey towards intelligent enterprise, right? And for me, I always like to relate to the past, right? And those of you who have been in SAP ecosystem for a long time, you will know that with SAP, we've always had a platform there in place. And the platform that many of you will know and most of our customers will actually still be using is the NetWeaver platform. And for us, the business technology platform, I tend to say SAP Business Technology Platform is what NetWeaver is for SAP, what NetWeaver used to be in the past, right? Because we always saw the need, and our customers always saw the need, that they need to have a platform underneath SAP solutions that can be used to customize, to extend, to integrate the solutions, to innovate on top. Right. And in the on-premise world, that had been the NetWeaver platform. Right. But then in the cloud and cloud hybrid architectures, now there is a need to provide value proposition similar compared to the NetWeaver platform, but now in the cloud. Right. So platform as a service, a business technology platform, that's to me the equivalence there. Right. Moving from the NetWeaver for on-premise architectures to business technology platform to provide rapid time to value for innovations, extensions, integrations, and data to value scenarios for SAP's Intelligence Suite. Right. So that's the story there. And for us, when we now transition from this higher level slide to the subject of business technology platform specifically, and where does it help our customers, but also our partners, there are two key highlights I would like to mention here. One, going forward, all SAP solutions will be built on SAP Business Technology Platform. That obviously applies to our cloud offerings, right? But at the same time, there is another dimension to this. It also applies to any and all SAP solutions where you will see also some SAP Business Technology Platform services being used across the board to provide some key capabilities. Right? I could talk here about the identity authentication services. I could talk here about the workflows. All of these are supporting cross-line of business requirements, not specific to a specific line of business, not specific to a specific solution, but rather answering questions such as, what is the strategy of SAP? How do I implement single sign-on? The answer is with Business Technology Platform. And you will already get the single sign-on stack, the SAP Business Technology Platform Identity Authentication Service. You will get it now as part of cloud solutions. Right? So that's one stream. So SAP customers will be getting more and more exposed to Business Technology Platform, whether if it is based on some new cloud solutions being already natively built on the Business Technology Platform, or even the other solutions that have not yet been built natively on the SAP Business Technology Platform, still having the chance to leverage some of the key services that are there from Business Technology Platform to support these end-to-end processes. And two, from a partner perspective, it's about the opportunity to innovate, right? It's about the opportunity for yourself to be able to use the Business Technology Platform to build additional differentiating IP, intellectual property, to build extensions, to build exciting integration content, to leverage standard content that we at SAP provide and activate it for your customers, right? Also looking at data to value scenarios, right? So when you look at this end-to-end intelligent enterprise journey, innovation part, as part of that, you can think of Business Technology Platform as the vehicle to drive extensibility, integrations, as well as leverage standard out-of-the-box content. And of course, for you as a partner, it's also opportunity to build more content. Right. So with that said, now moving towards some of the more tangible benefits of the Business Technology Platform. I mentioned integration, extensibility, process automation, analytics, or data to value, right? So those are, say, four centric areas where there are always key differentiators. Why should a partner like yourself position Business Technology Platform as the go-to platform to facilitate and to realize these business requirements of our customers, right? On the integration side, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. You have standard content activatable in the SAP integration suite in SAP's Business Technology Platform, right? There are APIs supported by our line of business, cloud line of business solutions, by SAP S/4HANA, where you can then build extensions and integrate into these solutions. You can also integrate these solutions between, for example, SAP S/4HANA and SAP SuccessFactors, leveraging integration suite in between just by using the standard content, right? We also provide connectors that can help you connect third-party systems to the SAP systems, right? So all of these options on the integration side make it a no-brainer to use Business Technology Platform for any and all integration scenarios. I mentioned the innovation part and specifically the notion of extensibility, right? And we would be the first to acknowledge that our standard software, right, covers the end-to-end processes. But at the same time, when you look at what are the customer requirements, there will always be some customer-specific requirements, right? And for us, the Business Technology Platform is the enabler to be able to allow you as a partner to expand the standard value proposition of the standard software, right? To build extensions, to innovate on top of the platform. Whether it is by providing personalized launchpad with embedded cross-line of business workflows, right, and business rules. Whether it is to build exciting mobile applications that will again interface via the available APIs into the system. Whether it is ability to do no-code, low-code, and full-stack development, right? So regardless of what kind of developer you are, you can always use the Business Technology Platform and pick the tools that you require. Right? Process automation, a big area out there where we provide templates and we provide with the intelligent robotic process automation bots and content that allows you to automate certain scenarios that otherwise would need to be handled manually. Right? Creating bots that will replace the need to do Excel and copy paste between emails and your SAP S/4HANA Cloud, for example. Right? And last but not least, data to value for us is not just about SAP Analytics Cloud. It's about the broader end-to-end notion of data to value. So how do we empower our customers via our partners to actually build end-to-end flows where it's a mix of Analytics Cloud for the analytics, for the planning, for the predictive, and also the database and data management capabilities, ability to do machine learning with SAP Data Intelligence, etc., etc. So many use cases across all of these four key scenarios, and those are all pointing to some intrinsic value that is there with the Business Technology Platform for our partners. And now to translate it into the partner business, right? And also me talking to many of you, and I'm sure, I mean, right now I'm meeting you virtually, but I know many of you from the past, also from in-person meetings. And I know that each of you have a unique go-to-market defined, right? And there are unique drivers that drive you as a partner. And from that perspective, we acknowledge that there are also different points of view, right? How you would approach your customers and how you would approach the opportunity with the Business Technology Platform. Some of you would be looking at it from a perspective of how do I innovate and how do I tap into SAP technologies and uncover the white spaces there and build differentiating IP on top of the platform and offer it to my customers as what I would refer to as a software partner, right? As an ISV. There is also the other stream, and where many of you would be looking at how do I use Business Technology Platform to actually enhance and grow the service opportunities that I have, to provide more relevant service capabilities to my customers, to be able to add Business Technology Platform flavor and use cases into my engagements, into my customer engagements, into my customer projects. Right. And last but not least, the value-added resellers, those of you going along that journey with Business Technology Platform, in addition to the service opportunity and let's say having Business Technology Platform as the stickiness to also for your install base, for your existing customers, right? You can use the Business Technology Platform to add additional selling motion, additional sales plays that all relate to the art of the possible with Business Technology Platform, right? Where you can then sell your accelerators based on Business Technology Platform, your extensions, and make this part of qualified partner package solutions for the intelligent suite. Right. So there are opportunities across all of these pillars here. You can pick one or more depending on what suits your business. Right. Now, going beyond, right? I mentioned I will start with the quick introduction of the partner opportunity, but now let's go into how we at SAP also support you on that journey with SAP Business Technology Platform. And here, to simplify, I will talk about two key pillars. One is the learning journey, the enablement path, and the other part would be the coaching services, right? And for me, enablement and coaching, it's in the end there to make yourself and your teams be more successful, right? From a perspective of your organization, of course, success means customer success. But with the SAP Business Technology Platform being such a exciting area, we also see huge demand and huge, let's say, intrinsic motivation there by all the learners that would start looking at Business Technology Platform, because it's an area, it's cloud first development, right? Basically, your consultants, your teams, your developers, when working with the SAP Business Technology Platform, it's a platform that fuels the intelligence suite, all the SAP solutions out there, right? So from that perspective, it's a well justified investment. And it's something that will help to energize your existing teams, right? Think of your existing teams who may be focusing on some of the technologies like ABAP, right? Where they've been some of the basis consultants looking at how do I do single sign-on in the on-premise world? Why not to elevate and to consider actually elevating these roles to look at, so what does the new basis consultant look like, right? In the cloud hybrid world, what does a new basis consultant look like, right? What does a new platform consultant look like, right? And Business Technology Platform is a great opportunity there to actually attract also new talents, regardless whether they come from the perspective of developing in ABAP, or whether it is a front-end developer, or whether it is a back-end developer working with technologies like Node.js or Java or Python, etc. Right. So huge opportunity to also grow your consultant base, right? And secondly, when we look at the SAP Business Technology Platform on what we at SAP offer to accelerate you on that journey, it's one, we want to provide you access to all that we have in terms of landscapes and systems, right? And I will talk in more detail about the exciting new announcements recently around expanding our test demo and development portfolio. We want to make sure also that your developers are equipped with all the tutorials, showcases, trials, and blueprints, architectural outlines of use cases, so that your architects and your developers understand exactly what is possible, what is the reference architecture, and then how to make it possible, right? Supported by these tutorials, right? Enablement and certification content, I will talk about it in 30 seconds or so. The out-of-the-box content that is there, I'll also point you where to find all of that, right? Because that's one of the big value drivers of SAP's Business Technology Platform. And last but not least, also, we want to provide you clear transparency on the end-to-end roadmap with SAP Business Technology Platform. So that would be the leading point towards the enablement path. that we are offering to all our partners. And that's what you'll be able to find here. I will try to simplify this. Of course, you will then get all the slides with you so that you can then click and check every single link that you will find here. But ultimately, for us at SAP, we want to present you a simple journey that starts with, when you follow on the left, the boxes there. One, it starts with self-paced digital learning. Wide available learning journey that are clustered by the different business technology platform services, but also clustered by the lines of business. So that if you are a developer focusing on SAP S/4HANA Cloud, you will know which areas of the learning path you need to keep in mind and that you can start consuming. Right. The second pillar would be the certification piece, because to us, it's very important to give you not only the chance to learn, but also to give you the chance to shine in front of our joint customers. And the certification is a great means to that, right? Because then also you can prove to your customers that you have the skills that are needed to go so that they can go on the journey with Business Technology Platform with you, right? Then we also provide additional boot camps for free. The calendar is published. The link is here. You can check it out. You'd be encouraged to check out all of these sessions. You will find hundreds of sessions that have been scheduled or already executed this year that all point to the same outcome, to make all of you equipped with the knowledge and also with the hands-on experience you need to understand the ins and outs of SAP Business Technology Platform. And last but not least, we listened, right? And we know that you've been telling us as partners, sometimes we get stuck. The theoretical learning is not always sufficient. We may need some support from time to time with some of our SAP Business Technology Platform use cases. So for us, this has been something that we took very seriously as feedback. And I will talk about what kind of coaching services we have prepared for you in the next 2 minutes or so. And so please, I'll keep you posted on that. Just give me a sec. So that would be the holistic enablement path, right? As mentioned on the previous slide, for us, certification is the desired outcome so that also your customers understand that you have the capabilities that are required to go on that journey with our joint customers, right? And you will see, to make it very simple, we have 3 key certifications that are supported by a learning path that lead to the certification. One for the integration suite, another for extensibility, and another for data to value that is expanding, right? You will see SAP Analytics Cloud, but also going into additional certifications for SAP HANA Cloud that we have on the short-term roadmap. So certification is very important endpoint after, let's say, the self-paced digital learning journey, right? To be able to consume the certifications, but also to be able to go end-to-end through the learning curriculum and the different ebooks or virtual classes. Learning Hub subscription is an important one. And you would have seen also on the previous slide that Learning Hub subscription, we want to make it as easy and as affordable as possible for all our partners to get access to the Learning Hub Partner Edition. So the link down below will point you to more details, but the Learning Hub Partner Edition that is available on the Partner Edge portal, please explore that because it gives you affordable access to the number of seats of Learning Hub that you require to get your consultants and developers certified. So very important. And now, once we close the journey and once you get certified, now it points to the coaching piece. And that's the part where, for me, it's like taking it from the theoretical level where you have achieved the learning and certification requirements, right? But now you have practical questions in the field. And what can you do in that case? For that purpose, we have designed end-to-end portfolio of coaching services that span across, let's say, prerequisite being that you get the certification and learning done, right? So coaching is not an alternative to learning. But once you get there, we provide an exploration coaching, development and build coaching, and also go-to-market support, right? And you will see on the left-hand side with the exploration part, we provide coaching services where as soon as you have a use case to build, for example, an extension with some of the cloud line of business solutions or with SAP S/4HANA Cloud, we provide coaching service that you can book via the SAP Partner Benefits Catalog, and the links are directly embedded in this slide. There is no cost to that, and then you will get support from SAP experts to articulate what are the typical best practice, how to approach extensibility with SAP S/4HANA Cloud, for example, or success factors, customer experience, or intelligent spend management. Right? You'll be also given guidance on the key use cases, also on the reference architecture. And then for technical support, we offer end-to-end technical coaching, and you will find some of these offerings in the pillar 3 on this slide. Right. So one, hack to build events are hackathons that actually help you in 1 week to build a prototype. Development advisors, it is a partner-led customer project support that we offer, where we assign a coach to you for a partner-led customer project where Business Technology Platform plays a role. And last but not least, technical extensibility advisory. It's like, think of it as a little bit of a spot coaching support, where we provide, if you have a concrete use case to build something on Business Technology Platform, and you have concrete questions about, is this the right approach? Is this the right architecture? How do I approach this concrete case? Maybe I need a little bit of troubleshooting with Business Technology Platform, and I need assistance from an expert. Then again, you just go to the partner benefits catalog, you book the service. The eligibility criteria, again, point primarily to the need to certify, but all the details are also in the link down below in the partner enablement overview slide deck. Right. So, and if you would be shy and if you do not need access to, let's say, one-to-one high-touch coaching, we also have opened up an Ask the Expert forum where you can ask any and all questions in a forum kind of style, and then we are monitoring these forums and supporting our partners there. Right. And then obviously for the go-to-market part, so how do you then, when you have a use case and you want to commercialize it, we also provide typically regional specific go-to-market programs that can support you on the journey of adoption of Business Technology Platform. There, the best point of contact for you is the partner business manager that you should be already aligned with, and you should already know him or her. If you don't, just shout out and we can also help you and point you in the direction of your partner business manager. And then for those of you who have built an application and you want to drive additional demand, you want to make sure that customers notice, we also have the Up for Growth coaching service, also on the partner benefits catalog, and you can just with one click register and get the support that is needed. So you will see it's an end-to-end holistic menu of coaching, right? For us, actually, just to summarize, and these slides will be with you, as mentioned, with the line of business extensibility advisory or S/4HANA Cloud extensibility advisory, it's about the high level, right? And it's up to 90-minute session where all of your questions will be answered, right? Which extension options are relevant, high-level architecture, etc. All the links are also here. So on this slide, you can use it for more details. Technical extensibility advisory, more spot coaching, up to 1 day of access to a BTP expert, right? I mentioned some highlights before, again, transparently documented on the partner benefits catalog. So all the details there. When we go forward, hack to build, here I would just highlight one thing. I mentioned it is a hackathon-like event, right? 1 week long, where you bring a use case and then we support you in building a prototype. The calendar and registration link is documented on this slide. So here, I would recommend as soon as you have a use case that you would like to build and where you need support, check the calendar. See if the right event is set up for the right focus area, right? Maybe you are designing a workflow scenario on Business Technology Platform. Then check out the workflow hack to build event that is happening that is scheduled, right? Or maybe you are looking at how to extend SAP S/4HANA Cloud. Look at the calendar. Is there an active schedule in place? Right. So the link here will give you transparency on what is planned today, and also it allows you to request and nominate ideas of additional topics for hackathons of the future. Right. So also please use that opportunity. The links to the Ask the Expert forums are also maintained here. You will see primarily we cluster by technical and commercial topics. So if the question is about technicalities, you want to ask in a forum style of audience, then use the first forum here. If your question is about go-to-market or what is the pricing model, how does consumption-based pricing work with Business Technology Platform, you can use the other forum here. Right. So that would be for the coaching part. To summarize everything with regards to enablement and coaching, the top 10 assets are documented on this one pager. So a lot of the links shared earlier, if you wouldn't have the time, right? When you cascade this one pager to your teams, that should really help them understand the end-to-end enablement path for business technology platform with the key enablement and coaching offerings highlighted. Super. And now we got to the last part of my presentation today, and that would be the demonstration and development options with SAP Business Technology Platform. And as promised at the beginning, for us, enablement and coaching is super important, but we also want to make sure that you are equipped with the demonstration and development content, as well as access to systems. And that's the purpose of the last part of me talking to you today. And we have many options there, and I want to make sure that all of you are aware. One, we provide the SAP Business Technology Platform a line of business demos in the SAP Partner Demo Environment shared option, right? And this is a repository that is of demos that are published on the SAP Demo Store that you can actually follow, and there is an end-to-end shared landscape behind it where you can go through the end-to-end demo scenario, well documented, well scripted, and you can use it in your internal as well as external demonstrations. Right, so very exciting opportunity. You do not need a landscape of your own, everything pre-configured, and you can just take these end-to-end demos to your customers. Second, what we have launched recently are the partner academies with SAP Business Technology Platform, and there it's like the next step from the previously mentioned share demo option, because here the partner academies basically give you access to specific academies for specific topics like data to value, like the end-to-end business technology platform extensions journey, where we have content, where we have clear step-by-step guide, but also pre-configured landscape that will be provisioned to you privately for duration of few weeks, where you can then roll these out to your customers, but also internally as workshops to drive additional business technology platform enablement, right, to your customers or within your own internal teams. Now, when you want to take it to the next level and when you need access to actual landscape of your own for productive development, right, then that's the part where you would typically move from the free development options that are there. Now we have also the free tier, and you would be looking into using the test demo and development licenses, where we now provide a pay-as-you-go option with the free tier included. The major highlight of that is that in the end, when you look at the pay-as-you-go option, you get for €0 access to a global account with Business Technology Platform. There you can activate the available free tier services in the entitlement section for no additional cost. And then you can on top use the pay-as-you-go test demo and development price list that is also linked to from this slide, where you can then activate some of these paid services at a discounted price point according to the pay-as-you-go test demo and development price list. So very exciting announcement, because now without prior investment, you can benefit from the free tier services as well as from the productive services there, right? So the call to action from my side is actually very straightforward. One, please, I hope you like the enablement and coaching offerings that we have. Please use these, kickstart your enablement journey with those, right? Get certified and work with your partner business manager to understand also what are some of the programmatic incentives, how we can support you. Right. So to close the session today, there are many assets that you should be aware of. The top assets are mentioned here. And also, as a TechEd participant, please use the learning.sap.com/TechEd offerings to help drive your career path with Business Technology Platform, pointing to the learning as well as the event exclusive certification offers that we offer to you. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great one. Take care.